Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the 360 Sports Show. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber. We are back from a bit of a midsummer vacation, as it were. It has been a few weeks since we have talked to you, and honestly, not that much has changed. But we have some fresh news on some of the topics that we spent at length discussing when we last came to you. So we will get into all of that, along with your questions, comments, and concerns in any of the live streams here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, or by emailing us at the360sportshow@gmail.com. So, Christian, we're kind of all over the map, so I say you decide where we start and what topic is most boiling, simmering on the brain here, seeing as it's whatever 110 degrees it's been the last week. And that is where we'll start, and we'll go from there.
Where do we start in the middle of baseball season? I would say...
Not with baseball, please.
That NFL training camp is getting going here pretty soon. And they've already been, Belichick's already had his conferences, and coaches are out saying, whatever they need to say, like, Kyle Shanahan saying that Jimmy G is no more. But... yeah, I mean, I think it's just exciting now that football's getting back up and going, because baseball is a dud for me. So, midsummer vacation could have been like 4 more weeks. Who knows? But I would say, yeah, football for me is the top of the list, and then I guess right underneath that is obviously whatever you want to call it, NBA offseason, Kevin Durant saga, all that stuff.
So within that take is we can unravel that baseball sucks. So before we get to why football's awesome and the things about football, let's just do a little bit. Actually, you know what? No, because now that I'm actually, you know what? There's a better idea. We'll table baseball, because you know what? I think we have somewhere where we want to put baseball. So let's just talk NFL. And you mentioned Bill Belichick and the Patriots announcing their coaching staffs. That's a big talk here in New England. No offensive or defensive coordinator, shocker, named for the New England Patriots. Christian, does it matter? We know now what some of the titles are: offensive assistant and football operations senior coordinator, whatever it is for Matt Patricia. Do the titles mean anything at all? Does the lack of titles move the needle one way or the other for you in a worse or a better way?
Definitely worse. I mean, I think, look, I have my gripes with Josh McDaniels, but in terms of his knowledge of the game and offensive capabilities, I think he's pretty good. Now, last year, you could pick and choose, half the time he feels like he made the wrong play call or whatever. But overall, I feel good about Josh McDaniels and Mac Jones in year 2. Now Josh is gone, and now it's like, who's helping Mac Jones kind of develop? Because I think that year 2 step here, especially you see the kind of shape that Jones, I don't want to overhype it. It doesn't mean much, but it means something. And he's got to do it on the field, but off the field and off season and getting his receivers together, throwing, getting in shape. I think that's all a key part of year number 2 and taking that next step. The problem is the coaching. I just don't know where you go. I mean, they're 2 excellent coaches, Bill tells us, right? One failed in Detroit and is back here again in Patricia, and Joe Judge failed in New York. So they're 2 failed head coaches. And now they're going to be on the offensive side. I don't trust that.
I don't care about the lack of titles. I'm concerned about the quality of the coaching. Right there with you. The only thing I'll say is maybe the silver lining a bit for the Patriots and for Mac Jones is that at least I think those guys, you're keeping some continuity of the system, which has been part of the entire Patriots' success. Now, a lot of that is Tom Brady and him being the system, but we've always said that part of Bill Belichick's strength and being successful for the long term, we see it happen all. Look at the Atlanta Falcons, right? They have Kyle Shanahan. Matt Ryan has the best year of his career. Shanahan goes to San Fran. What always happens, your coaches get poached by other teams to go be either hire coordinators or to be head coaches. And what did the Falcons do? They didn't promote a guy from within. They didn't bring somebody in who was familiar with that system. Instead, they bring in Steve Sarkisian, and they completely changed what they're doing offensively. Completely changed terminology, mentality, philosophy, everything. Since then, the Falcons have been... So that, at least, if I was worried about year 2, Mac Jones, and some hitting a wall or hitting a crater, at least I believe these guys, having been under Bill and been in the Patriots organization, will be running the same offense they've been running for like 30 years down there in New England. So that, I think, is at least a silver lining. But at the end of the day, if the coaches suck at coaching, keeping the same system won't matter. So,
well, yeah, I mean, and also the roles, I guess it doesn't bother me that much that they don't have defined roles, but it also, like, in the building, are they defined? Because I don't want Patricia saying, oh, Mac, let's do this, and then Judge comes in and says, well, let's do this. It's just too much. You got to have a defined role there. Most organizations do. For whatever reason, Bill doesn't do it. And we saw what happened with the defense last year. So I don't know. I feel like things are more prone to fall apart. Now, whether that's giving guys roles or getting the right people, that's two different conversations that come together. But I'm not confident in the coaches themselves. I am confident that Mac Jones will get to the next, we'll gauge the next level. What does that even mean? But I think he'll be better than last year.
What's more likely, that Mac Jones has a good season and the coaching sucks, or the coaching's great and Mac Jones has a terrible season?
Yeah, I don't even need to answer. It's the former for sure.
Yeah. Colin in the comment section says, no baseball, please. And then also, quote, we're really not big on titles and all that. Says the guy who named Matt Patricia senior football advisor and probably had more titles on his staff than any other team in football. Just tell us who's calling the plays and stop playing silly semantic games. Well, evidently, according to some, keeping the title of offensive coordinator or play caller a secret could be beneficial to the Patriots. RG3 believes that at least early in the season, not having it be known who's calling the plays could be an advantage, because a defense is not going to be able to know that person's scheme and tendency and what they're going to do. I call malarkey because if it's guys who are just going to do the Patriot system, you know the Patriot system. Now, you might not know, like, hey, this guy likes to call these sorts of plays more on third down than, say, Josh McDaniels did. You know? Like, if we had Billy O'Brien back here as offensive coordinator, I'd be like, oh, great, shotgun draw on third down. Here it comes. Like clockwork. So maybe there's, like, the smallest sliver of, like, an advantage in very hyper-specific situational situations. So that maybe gets you 1 or 2 plays here and there per game in the first month of the year.
Well, I think there's a chance Bill looks fine because there's a chance the quarterback covers up for the terrible coaches. And if he does that, because he's in year 2 of the system now, he probably knows more than those guys do. If he comes out and guns blazing here in the first half of the season or something, that can certainly make you feel better about the coaches. If you're Bill, that makes you feel good because, okay, well, you can put it on the coaches at least somewhat.
Yeah. We'll see. Colin also says they'll know by how terrible the play calling is. Yeah. And we'll know. I mean, after watching Tom Brady for 20 years, Cam Newton for a season, and Mac Jones last year, like, New England fans pay such attention, like, and invested fans across all teams who have had, like, the same coach, quarterback type of thing for a while. Like, everyone has a nitpick of something a team does in a situation. Like, if it's bad, this is not going to be like, oh, well, you have to be some sort of football expert to discern if this was bad play calling. No. The people around here are going to know and be able to recognize it quite quickly. So, we'll see. I mean, training camp gets started here in the coming week. And when is the first preseason games?
It's going to be the second week of August, maybe?
Second week of August, probably. Let's see. That is not what I wanted. Internet. Google, stop guessing. Just give me what I want. And it's not going to do it. I want the schedule. There we go.
August 11th.
Yeah, August 11th against the New York Football Giants. That's interesting, seeing as how they usually... Oh, well, I guess there's only... Yeah, that's interesting. Usually they always played them last. So you got Giants, Panthers. Hey, we get to see Baker Mayfield. And then the Raiders, August 26th. September 11th, home opener. No, not home opener. Season opener. Against the Miami Dolphins. We'll reevaluate our picks for their record after the preseason.
Yeah, we'll have a nice 2-week gap.
And we'll have a chance to demote even more wins off our predictions. Other big NFL news this week, and it does relate to the Patriots and any other young quarterbacks. Kyler Murray got his contract. He got paid a 5-year, $230 million contract, $29 million in a signing bonus, $160 million guaranteed for a guy that I don't believe he was he Rookie of the Year? I don't think so. Right?
I don't believe so, but
let's double check. Let's check his
right.
His accolades here. Career highlights. He was Rookie of the Year. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year. So a Rookie of the Year and a 2-time Pro Bowler. Guess what? Mac Jones is a Pro Bowler. Getting paid for not winning. I don't believe they've won a playoff game. It's getting $250 million. We all know that the money in the league is crazy. How does this contract? Is this good business by the Cardinals? Is it the cost of doing business for everybody? And if you're any team with a quarterback who's good, is this just going to be what you have to do to keep that guy? Is pay them an average of $40-something million a year? At the height of this, it's 55 in 2026. $55 million a year for somebody who, you don't know, he could become the next Baker Mayfield. So
under contract still, though, even before this new extension?
Yes. His initial contract he signed in 2019 was a 4-year, $35 million deal. So that's 19, 20, 21. This would have been the final year. He was going into the final year of his deal.
Yeah, I would have said pound sand, play it out.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't proven $230 million. I'm sorry. That's just point blank. You have not proven for any reason why you should get $230 million, other than you're a quarterback in the NFL, and if we lose you, we're gonna have nothing. So, I guess there's that. But that's pretty much why he got the contract, I would guess.
Yeah, and they did play around with it. His base salary.
Guys get paid for great regular seasons, so maybe that is it.
I mean, the thing is though, they started off, on fire last year, and then fizzled. If you look at the body of work, who deserves the money more, Josh Allen or Kyler Murray? Josh Allen by a landslide. Has won playoff games, has borderline MVP candidate. Kyler Murray, I think, can be great, but you haven't. There's another step there. And I guess it's the final year, and they were like worried, well, if he balls out and plays great, you're going to have to, if you really like him, you're going to pay him anyways. So why not wait and see if you're not sold? Unless he was he like threatening to hold out? Was he one of these guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was, yeah.
So it's like, ugh, gigots. So he gets his money. We'll see how it turns out for the Cardinals. Now, like you said, I don't know what their other options would have been. You would have, I guess, you hope that by signing him now and him not holding out, I mean, you just kind of guarantee your future. But I have no idea what he's going to look like come 2026 when you're paying him $55 million. And even all these, I mean, there's like no out for them really until 2027. His dead cap number then is $7 million. So that's then tradable, cuttable, whatever. His dead cap number this year, $110 million. Not going to happen. $97 million. $81 million. 3 full NFL seasons from now, it's $81 million if you want to cut him. He could be injured, seriously injured, just suck. He could go the other way. Crazy for a guy that has not proven enough, at least in my mind. Nick in the comment section says, can spell overpaid and overrated. Colin also says, Kyler has to do his homework, though, if he wants to see that money. Yeah,
There's a weird contract stipulation. One of the weirdest I've ever seen. He has to do like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Weird.
That is a bizarre one.
So they gave themselves the smallest out.
Can you find that, Christian? What is the exact details of it? I don't think... I see all the incentives. And I see workout bonuses, but I can't find the exact writings of that.
Homework clause.
Yeah, the homework clause. So while Christian looks that up, Colin also says running QB gets injured? Question mark. Yeah.
He will default $230 million contract if he does not study film. He must commit 4 hours of study a week.
So I mean, but like at what point? I mean, here's the thing.
What are you sending him to the library? Like,
yeah, is he got like an ankle? Are you're using like the the COVID trackers to like still track him and be like, are you in the film room? Is he got somebody like the homework coach who just follows him around and is making sure he's doing it? What if he doesn't do 4 hours one week? Are they going to be like, we're cutting you?
Yeah. Or does he? Well, he might just get docked pay if he doesn't.
Maybe. I don't know. That is bizarre. That's a weird one. Like, you'd hope that...
Excluding the bye week, though. That's an important detail.
Excluding that week where you should be working on getting better because you don't have to worry about playing an opponent. You can self-scout and improve. Ugh, boy. Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with that? So, I mean, if you're any other team, though...
Do you think he has to get his parents to sign it as well after he's done?
Yeah. You're going on a field trip.
Well, you need your parents' permission to come to Miami this week, Kyler.
Has to sign his paper saying he studied for 4 hours. Like, what the hell?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point are they gonna call him? Are they gonna Are they only gonna use that like if he sucks in 2 years and they're like, we have documented he has not been doing his homework for 2 years. We are within our rights to violate him on this contract. I don't know. What does this mean, though? I mean, the contracts we've seen, the Mahomes contract, the contract for I just said his name, Josh Allen, and now Kyler Murray for quarterbacks in the NFL. If you're a team, the New England Patriots, Mac Jones, you are right in the middle. You're like the 15th, 16th quarterback in the NFL. You're a free agent. You're coming up on free agency. Should the Patriots just offer Mac Jones an extension now and hope he says sure? And because we know the cap's going to go up, or do you just wait and say, we'll see what you're worth when you're a free agent, or until you decide to hold out?
I mean, the rookie deal is 4 years, so. They still got time. I mean, you got to get ahead of it to some extent because that's the way the NFL is going. But you got time here. You got to see years 2 and 3. You can't just give this guy $100 million for nothing.
Yeah, I think so. I just still think the money's crazy for for the quarterback position. Now, I know the cap's supposed to go up, but let me see now. Let me see if I can pull up the Cardinals. Where are they? Patriots. What? How is this? Cap space. The Bengals have $52 million in cap space. That's insane. Arizona Cardinals. Let's see what they have for next year. Update. So Murray, his cap hit next year will actually only be 16. So let's go to 2024. Salary cap. There we go. $51 million. Good grief. He's going to account for 19%, 20% of the salary cap to one guy. Insane.
The way the league is going.
I mean, let's see right now what Mahomes is for the Chiefs. Where are you? Kansas City.
Gonna be astronomical.
That's the high water mark. Here you go. This is your high water mark. Should be in terms of, because we can't look at the numbers anymore. The numbers are just mind-boggling. You got to look at what it really means in terms of the salary cap. Patrick Mahomes, who should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, given his age and just where he is in his career, 17.16% of the Chiefs cap. No other quarterback should be accounting for more of your salary cap. I'm sorry. That's how. If I'm a team negotiating, that's how I do it. I take our cap. I say 17% or less. That's what we can offer you. I mean, you want to be paid more than Pat Mahomes? Go win a Super Bowl. Go win an MVP.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no question about that.
I mean, let's see Buffalo, because I know they gave Josh Allen a huge deal. Let's see if his is close. This year it's cheap. He's only got $16 million. Tre'Davious White is actually being paid more. Well, let's see next year, because I bet you next year is when that kicks in. 18.23%. That's the ballpark. I mean, and Josh Allen deserves that money. I think it's insane to give that money to a guy that hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but his trend and the team's trend, and obviously that's the cost of keeping who I believe is a top 3 quarterback. Sure. Kyler Murray, 20% of the cap. Yikes. So we'll find out if Mac Jones is worth that at some point in the next few years. That discussion is sure to be ongoing. We'll see who's next. Who would be next? While we're on it, let's just do a quick check. We'll do a check of free agents for next year who are quarterbacks. And we'll guess who gets the next stupid contract. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who it could be. Oh, Baker Mayfield.
No.
This is the final year of his deal, isn't it?
He's not going to get something like Mahomes level, Josh Allen level.
No. I'm just trying to think of who is a guy. Quarterback. Oh, here we go. All right, ready? Here's your unrestricted free agent quarterbacks next year. I will start I'll start here at the bottom. And you can tell me yes or no if you think they could get a stupid contract from a team for no reason. Andy Dalton.
Nah.
Chad Henne.
Nope.
Joe Flacco.
Definitely not.
Geno Smith.
Retirement.
Jacoby Brissett.
Probably not.
Mason Rudolph.
Nope.
Case Keenum.
Nope.
Daniel Jones.
Nope.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Nope.
Sam Darnold.
Nope.
Baker Mayfield.
Stupid contract has levels with Baker Mayfield, but probably not.
Yeah, some of these are like, if you give him a contract, you're stupid. Tom Brady.
He's gonna retire. Fox already paid him.
He already got a stupid contract from Fox.
Yeah.
Last one, because I don't think any of these others are. There's nothing interesting down there. Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't think he's gonna be overpaid. No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are already in place here in the league now.
Yeah. So nobody then. I'll take a quick gander further forward. Oh, here's the better list. Here's the much better list. All right, I'll just run through all these because some of them are gonna be quick. You're gonna say who? Felipe Franks, Ben DiNucci, Jacob Eason. All right, here we go. Jalen Hurts,
No.
Brian Hoyer,
He's a coach, basically.
Trevor Simeon.
Friendly accountant Trevor Simeon.
Nick Foles,
No.
Colt McCoy,
Nope.
Tyrod Taylor, Mitchell Trubisky,
Definitely not.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Yeah. That man's going to
About
get
it.
tons of money. Marcus Mariota,
No.
Jameis Winston,
Eat that dub.
Ryan Tannehill.
No, he won't get another one like he did from the Titans. No shot.
No, because he's going to be almost 36. Matt Ryan.
No, he's another guy. All these guys that could get paid, they're probably going to get like a 1-year deal.
Russell Wilson.
Probably.
I think he probably gets an exorbitant one, especially if they have success this year. He will definitely get, and it will certainly be more than he's worth at that point in his career. He'll be 35 by that point.
Yeah.
And then last one is Kirk Cousins.
No.
I don't think he gets paid
You
again.
like that?
Yeah. You like all the money he's gotten. How much has he made? Because he was the first to do one of those like fully guaranteed. It's like it's a low number, but it's like all guaranteed. Where's career earnings? Career earnings for Mr. Kirk Cousins. It's a fun little experiment. All right, how much money do you think Kirk Cousins has made in 10 seasons? Take a guess.
$220 million.
Oh, you overshot it. 161. Still.
I mean, he's gotten like 25 or 30 a few times, I feel like.
Yeah.
At least that's how it felt.
Yeah. Earned 40 2 years ago. Woof. So
Yeah.
these are the numbers. This is what the NFL has.
What it means to be a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. You kids in the backyard, you better be a quarterback. Channeling a little Brett Musburger there. Remember that? That would talk about people going on the not list.
Yeah.
You went from being like you are the premier voice of college football to we're putting you out to pasture. Not a good look. Innocent, not a good look.
Not
for
great.
you, Brent. Not great. Especially when he like went back for seconds on it too. He like had to come back to the same thing again.
Don't double on it.
Don't double down. Don't double down. All right. Let's chat quickly about some NBA rumors before we get to hot and not. The Kevin Durant trade speculation, we spoke about this at length last time on the show. We had all of our opinions about him and blah, blah. We've gone on about this for a long time. So let's just do this right now. Christian, if you are the Boston Celtics, do you include in a trade Jaylen Brown? Forget about whatever other pieces, picks, whatever. Are you trading for Kevin Durant if it means Jaylen Brown is leaving the Boston Celtics?
No.
Good. I agree wholeheartedly. So we're in lockstep on that. You're not trading Jaylen Brown in any form or fashion.
Unless Jaylen Brown has come to Brad Stevens and said, I want my own team, I want out, he's not touchable in my mind.
Yes.
You were 2 wins away from an NBA championship. You do not need to trade Jason or Jalen. You do not need to trade all of your new pieces that you just got in order to get Kevin Durant.
Unless he came to you and pulled a what does government mean to you, Brad, and is just like becoming a Kyrie robot. There's no reason. And from the reporting, the reporting now is exactly what I thought it was on this issue. Brad Stevens, as any good GM should, was just doing his diligence. Hey, Kevin Durant's available. What would you want from us? That's an all-time generational talent. Of course, you have to ask what the price is. And if they say, well, what would you offer? You say, well, how about Jaylen Brown? Because you know what that does? That also gives you a good sense of what other people value your player and how to value your own player. Doesn't mean you are actually giving that player away or close to making a deal. It helps to have that information. That helps with just your own internal mechanics. All GMs offer, it's like searching for a house. My realtor said, some offers, you write the full thing. You sign everything, all the numbers. You give it to them so that they can just sign it and you get the house. Other times it's this thing, it's you write it on the back of a napkin. Here's our offer. Because it's you really don't care. That's what these GMs all do. It's just speculation between themselves. And what happened? The Nets couldn't get what they wanted really from Kevin Durant from anybody. And so now they're throwing all this stuff to the media as if it happened yesterday that Brad Stevens is offering Jaylen Brown to the Nets, blah, blah, blah. And then you have Brian Windhorst today. Yeah, this was 5 weeks ago. This is not new. And Jaylen Brown loves Boston, likes the team, has no problems. I think the shake my head tweet was more to just do about here we go again. More trade speculation.
I also think not to knock these guys that have all these sources. Shams and Woj are two of the best in the business. But if I tweeted out tomorrow that the Nets asking price for Kevin Durant, the Celtics were offering Jaylen Brown, that would not be I don't have a source. I could just tell you that and put it out in thin air, and it'd probably be correct because Jaylen Brown is an all-star caliber player who's going to be in most trade conversations.
Exactly. And that's what I think Mark Murphy had. He said, a player of Jaylen's caliber is going to be in trade conversations. That's exactly what you said. An all-star, a guy who came close to winning the finals and probably could have been finals MVP if they had won.
Oh, yeah.
That's the, Celtics fans get it all mixed up. You should look at it now, if they actually do trade him, now we can get the torches and the pitchforks. But him being in the conversation is almost close to a one-to-one swap.
I do think it's on the Celtics to make sure he knows that if he's not in trade talks, that he knows it, because these players now will read Twitter, Instagram, see all this crap posting, and then get pissed off. So it's on the Celtics to, more importantly, Brad Stevens to communicate with these guys.
Exactly. Well, and I said too, I hope he hangs out with Marcus Smart and that those two actually talk enough, because Marcus Smart has been in trade conversations since the day he was drafted. Trade Marcus Smart. Every single offseason, there's people, we were some of those people last year before he had a great year, calling for it. And what's that guy done? He just shows up. He just say, hey, it's the NBA. There's rumors all the time. Until they tell me they don't like me anymore, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be a Celtic. I want to be the best Celtic I can. And I'm going to work hard, win Defensive Player of the Year, and just ignore the noise. That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. And like you said, hopefully Jaylen can do that. All these guys today now, they struggle with that. All of them. So we agree that doing it, don't do it. In made-up land, Jaylen Brown's gone. Marcus Smart is gone. You put Kevin Durant on this team. Are they better? Are they any closer to an NBA championship? Yes or no?
Maybe a little bit for a year or two. Short term, sure, because Kevin Durant's been there, done it, and I think he's still, for another couple of years, he's probably good. For the long term, they're not better, for sure. You're going to get rid of Kevin Durant in 1 year after he says he wants out from you, and you're going to have to draft another guy, and it's just Tatum, and then Tatum leaves. So the whole thing could blow up, and you'd have nothing. You'd have to start over again.
Yeah, I agree. Not worth it. It would be the Kyrie trade all over again. Not that Kevin Durant is Kyrie Irving, but this you have something established, and now you're just gonna sell a piece to try and get a bigger, shinier piece, and stir the pot again. I think you'd put yourself, as you said, on this. Well, now it's a 1 or 2 year window. And if it doesn't go well, goodbye KD, goodbye Jason Tatum. Now where are you? Now you're truly in the abyss of the NBA.
Just where Brad Stevens likes it.
Maybe if he was coaching.
I can get my Gonzaga and my Butler players and my Dukies that are not as good, and we're gonna have a nice little. And then he'll go back as coach, and you'll just have
and no draft capital to build the team. You would be stuck in the middle. It's the worst place to be in the NBA. You either want to be at the top or you want to be way in the back. So that would not be good. So I agree. I think that it could make them better. They could win a ring. But the odds of it happening versus the odds of I'll take another 5 to 7 years if Jalen sticks around and making it work with this group, as opposed to trying to sell your soul to win one ring and then either way you'd win one and then probably think about this. Say you did get that one ring, you think that Jason Tatum's gonna just like say, sure, I'll just stay here in Boston and win one? Kevin Durant will leave or retire after 2 years. And then Tatum may just say, well, Boston, I won you a ring. I fulfilled my contract.
See you later. I'm going to play with Brad.
Exactly.
Beal.
Exactly. So, like, you got to be careful what you wish for. I'd rather keep this homegrown thing going and try and keep as many of those guys together as long as you can. Because I think they're just hitting their stride. But we've been over this ground too often. And it's annoying to have to keep retreading it because of all these things that keep coming up. So, anyways, let's get to some good things and some bad things with Hot and Not.
It's time for Hot.
Hot.
You want to talk about hot?
Hot.
Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And Not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and Not, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, pluses and minuses. Start off with what you liked from the past week, 2, 3 weeks. Anything that has been hot for you.
I just went easy. David Ortiz to the Hall of Fame. It's the right decision. I know a lot of people have gripes because of steroids and all this stuff, but if you're in, you're in. He was one of the most clutch guys of all time. He won 3 World Series, and he was a focal point of all 3. David Ortiz to the Hall of Fame is top of the list.
I have to agree. With all of that, that was going to be like one of my other. If we didn't get to it here, it was going to be a whole other topic about Big Papi making it to the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, I feel bad for him. I mean, I think there was certainly still fanfare for him. I feel bad that the Red Sox suck right now for him.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like...
and also that baseball once again is in a place is not in a good place, and I feel like he's like one of these guys who is in like what I would think right now. Like I don't think we're in like this great era of baseball. 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s baseball was still like just really good. And a number of the guys who has gone in with, who are around him, like his era of player, I just don't feel like we've got the same. There's just not enough of it now.
I think the game is just boring, but
exactly, yeah. But as you said, one of the most clutch. I mean, for a guy who DH.
If not the most.
No place in the field. You do everything with the bat. There's no, hey, he didn't hit well, but he makes great defense. He's a shortstop. He's an outfielder who's the defensive genius. Second, whatever. He had to do it in his career all with the bat. And we could spend hours going over big-time plays from David Ortiz. They even put that. I mean, they only have so much room on the plaque there, on the bust. What was it? 4 or 5 walk-off hits in 2004?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Insane. You might remember a guy for like 1 in his entire career. Hey, remember that time Jared Saltalamacchia won an ALCS game? 1 walk-off in an entire like playoff career, right? Remember that time that so and so did it? This year, he's got 4 in one postseason, and tons littered clutch hits everywhere else. In your mind, Christian, what is like the most clutch hit of Big Papi in your mind?
I would say it's probably got to be one of them from 2004. I would put first just because of the magnitude of that, but it was probably the broken bat. Well, he fought it off, no broken bat, but inside pitch to center field, and Damon scored to send it to New York, down to 3-2.
It's really tough for me, but I think I have to go
the Grand
Slam, only because that is what you needed. That was not like, hey, come up and get a hit. It could be a single, it could be a double, it could be a home run. Just get the ball in play so that we can win this game. That was, you're down 4 and have done nothing offensively all game, as a team. You need to hit this out of the park to have a chance to win that
homered
game.
Off Benoit.
And first pitch of a guy he had never homered off of, and just, whoop, gone. That was unbelievable. So I think needing a home run and getting a home run off one pitch, that for me, the magnitude of all the 04 hits obviously puts those in the consideration too. But that 2013 one, that entire postseason run was just insane. From some of the clutch performances they got. So, lot of baseball. My hot is going to be a local one, a bit of a personal one. If you were paying attention to the MLB draft, were you, Christian? Were you paying attention to the MLB draft?
Please.
Were you paying attention?
I did see this.
Were you paying attention to the 11th round of the MLB draft?
No, but I saw it after.
In case you missed it, for anybody that is a Rhode Island person, local person, if you're a fan of Salve Regina, Dominic Parachi, who had one of the most insane, historic, dominant seasons I have ever seen with my own 2 eyes, had the pleasure of broadcasting, won every major award you could imagine in Division III, from conference to region to All-American to being National Pitcher of the Year. Drafted in the 11th round with the 320th overall pick, I believe, to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Unbelievable just moment for him, for the university, for the coaches. This is a guy that a year ago is coming off just a great outing at an NCAA regional in Hartford, Connecticut, playing for a small Division III college, university, small D3 university. Fast forward basically a year, and you're getting drafted to the major leagues. It's a great story. It exemplifies that there's in sports like hockey and in baseball, if you're an athlete, it doesn't always have to be D1. You can go D3, and if you work hard and you put the time in, people pay attention. People will notice. And so we weren't sure if he was going to stay. Is he going to go? Well, today he signed his contract. I mean, he had eligibility left because of COVID, but when the major leagues knock on your door and say, hey, we want you, you say,
no-brainer.
Here I come. So just amazing, just fantastic for him. And so that was an easy hot for me. So I will have to tune in to some Young Bucks games because he'll be with in the minors for sure. But we'll have to keep our eyes out. Major League Baseball, be ready because I know Dom's going to work hard and will certainly be up to the task. So this is a guy who in the regionals this year in the NCAAs, people were saying, is this guy going to transfer to D1? He's just so good. There's no way he stays in D3. Yep, he didn't. Went one further rung up. Major League Baseball. So, anywho. Christian, sticking with baseball, probably, what is not for you this week?
I would say the Red Sox before the All-Star break and then after in the Blue Jays and Yankees series. Take your pick there, but the inside the park Grand Slam is an all-timer. I think It might be one of the greatest moments of not history in Jaron Duran just not seeing the baseball, them getting spanked by a score of 25-5 or 28-5, something like that.
28-5.
Football style. Just what a ride it's been, huh? Just getting started, those Red Sox.
It has been some of the worst, ugliest, horrific baseball I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, and the pitcher running first to cover the first base bag and missing completely.
I mean, it's one thing to suck. 28. I'm sorry, it's a clown show. Like, it's disgusting. Like, you'd think you're watching like a sketch. It's been that bad, laughably bad, inept. I mean, let's pull out. I got a thesaurus somewhere over here. We could go on for an hour with every just negative adjective you could come up with. There's no other way to put it. And the team checked out. I do not care that you are 3 games out of a playoff spot. You're 3 games out of a joke playoff spot. You've been in. There's one thing to lose. They have been an embarrassment inside the park grand slam, and it's one thing for it to be a guy running back, diving, missing the ball, it kicks into the corner. It's kind of a fluke. This is what was this? A fake punt return? He's running forward, and then where is it? 50 feet behind you. What?
Classic.
God. An embarrassment. And they cut to Cora, and they show him just trying to stay composed. That dude has to be fumed. And you know what's going to happen now? Exactly what I said I was afraid of. This team is going to... They're saying today on the radio, they were like, we haven't had trade discussions on anybody. Bull. Absolute bull. This team is going to fire sale at the deadline. Enjoy it, Red Sox fans. There's going to be no one left on this team after the deadline.
Well, I'll tell you, by then, football will be in swing, so we'll be good.
I mean, I honestly, be prepared, Red Sox fans. Devers and Bogarts could be gone at the deadline. They could be. This team is that bad that they may just say,
let's just hit the reset button.
You talk about Brad Stevens wanting to have all his little mid-tier players. You know Chaim Bloom is just itching to get rid of talent, to have some future and build it
nice and small.
Disgusting.
Tampa Bay Red Sox.
I am disgusted. Here's we I think they were already in. Were the Red Sox in or out of the ball locker? I can't remember because you've wanted to keep taking them in and out. Guess what? They are buried. Not just banished. They are buried deep in the ball locker. They're underneath Kyrie and any other malarkey that is stuff we just hate to discuss. The only way I'm talking about the Red Sox from now on is if they make a major trade, of legitimate players, Bogarts and Devers, or if they win a World Series. Other than that, we shouldn't even mention their name. They don't deserve it.
You really don't like the Red Sox.
I've seen this coming the whole year, and I'm disgusted at being right.
You said last year the same thing would happen?
Yeah, last year is looking like a fluke. Absolute fluke.
I have nothing further to add.
Good.
Your Honor.
Good. The defense rests. Goodness grief. One Red Sox adjacent story. We could have mentioned this during the NBA talk. LeBron James's comments about Boston being racist AF when he is a minority owner of the Boston Red Sox. And then Sam Kennedy today on the radio bagging out of saying anything about it. Well, I can't speculate on this because LeBron is a part owner and this, that. He danced around the whole thing. Is it good, bad, or indifferent that ownership didn't come out stronger in support of their own team and city and fan base to, yes, it's LeBron James, but he's a minority owner and trying to somewhat right the ship with this narrative, which I think is just unfounded, that Boston's a racist city. Every city in America has racial issues, have had their struggles. It's not just Boston. And guess what? These issues are everywhere. There's also plenty of good eggs everywhere, for the most part. But in Boston, you know, like David Ortiz, who just went to the Hall of Fame, as they said, no issues at all. Ever. Guys like Paul Pierce, love Boston. I have no issues. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody didn't say something to LeBron at some point.
Of course.
But to just dub a whole city, a whole fan base as racist, when I'm sure he hears worse things in other places or similar things in other places all the time. That's what I don't like. It just furthers this narrative that it's only Boston. All the racists live in Boston. Racists are everywhere, and you have to work at combating that, but I don't know. Disappointing from Sam Kennedy to not say something stronger in support of his own team to a guy that's supposed to be an owner with you, and maybe putting him a bit in his place on that issue. I don't know.
Yeah, once again, I mean, Kyrie did the same thing last year, or maybe not. Was it last year? I don't know. But
Last year.
and Jaylen Brown came back and said, "Did perfect." Like, yeah, we're making this conversation out of, like, you know, it's a playoff game, it's basketball. We don't need to make it this huge thing. But Boston, we can do better, of course. 100%. I still agree with Jaylen Brown on that. Talk about a guy who can, like, actually send a message instead of just like painting this picture of, like, you know, three a-holes on the corner were being racist to me, and Boston is just a racist place. Obviously, every city in the U.S. probably has these issues, most likely, and I think everywhere could get better at this. I think there's no reason not to. It's kind of unfortunate this is still a thing, and racism still goes around as much as it does. But yeah, I mean, I think they could have come out and said something.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, for a team that's struggling like they are, to then not back up your own fan base like that. I don't know. And I know he wasn't calling out Boston Red Sox fans, but he's calling out the entire city. You know, this is a guy who's supposed to be a part owner of your team. Maybe he got spoken to behind closed doors. I doubt it. So, anyways, Christian, are there any other news, notes, or problems, things you want to address here on tonight's re-entry edition of the show, after a little
Hiatus.
summer siesta?
Okay. No, I'm ready. I'm ready for football. I'll tell you that. I mean, it might not be that exciting. The Patriots could go 1-17, but I still love football all around. So, bring on football.
All right, football is coming. We will have football content to discuss next week on the show. So that is going to do it for us. Thank you to everybody who joined in here on the live stream. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can like, follow, and subscribe to those platforms to catch the live show or rewatch the live show. And if you can never make the show and you want to take us on the go, you can subscribe to the podcast edition of the show through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from on Sounder FM or elsewhere. So that's going to do it. I'm Andrew Pizzelli. He's Christian Lauber. Have a good night, everybody.